There we go, there we go, there we go. Holy crap, sorry about that. A bit of a delay from my end. To try and make it a bit more exciting for what we would call the final race of the championship here at LNR. And I kind of feel like I am a bit out of my out of my league tonight. I don't know why, but for some strange reason, I'm just not doing what I am supposed to do. Um, Welcome everyone on the stream. To those that have just joined us, this is what we will call the final race of the championship. Again, a lot of things happening at the present moment. One being we immediately jumped into race conditions. And when we say race conditions, we go by a very different grid starting point. So before we even get to that, and let's just get everyone up to speed and up to pace. What we are talking about is the championship TVT. Of course, these boys are gonna go through their warm-up lap, and because it's Silverstone, it's gonna take a bit of time in general. I already see one car that is probably popped into the pit lane, didn't do what he needed to do. But nonetheless, I mean, while these boys do their pit or penultimate warm up lap before we get racing conditions on the go, I'm going to try and show everyone where we are with the current standing point. So, as we are final race of the season, the big boys up there, VXR Vipers, who currently is car 1 and 2 in the grid position, ready to rock and roll it this evening. I'm probably going to head away with a big W for season championship. Now that is a phenomenal thing to grab from the LNR in general. Second to that is Teenage Tornadoes, who has jumped a few spots. The B Wall Lovers have dropped all the way down to third position, and they're going to battle it out with LTR Extreme. So I reckon those boys are really going to fight it out this evening. The point difference is very, very marginal. I think first and second, I would probably say, is a very secure, unless something goes awfully wrong with the team finishing the race. Now again, this is Silverstone, sort of expected to be a bit of a rainy condition scenario, but as you know, UK weather is so up and down. It changes day to day in all fairness. So grid positions, let's just see if we can do a walk around from. So Van Wyk is in pole. He is with his teammate in second place. And of course we've got Nel Bullion and Greening. These two boys are teammates. Then we have Findlay, Robson, Marais in the Ferrari, followed by Dave Young. And then of course Jason Luck had a phenomenal drive last week at Zandvoort. Mr. Hall there for LTR Chic in 10th place. And of course, Feiner Sant in his Aston Martin also drove very, very strongly last week at Zandvoort. So let's see if he can pull it back again this week. Wilfred there. Deep Bullion in 13th place with the Ferrari for LNR. Gary van der Haar there for Snellen. Also doing some LNR colors. Mouton for the LTR boys in the green Ferrari. Again, doing one phenomenal livery there in general. We've got Holzhausen and his Porsche, Essop in his BMW for Pace Motorsport, Paul Venter and a Ferrari in 18th, Beekers in BMW Pace Motorsport, and of course Duplessis, Heineke, Kalen Mawa also there in the Aston Martin, Neville, power, and then now, of course, straight on way at the back of the grid, and Mooney, last but not least. I reckon Mooney just popped in for a bit of racing fun. I think he's going to go from last to first in a couple of laps as these boys head up side by side for the race to start off. And of course, 1 hour of racing. I reckon mandatory pit stop is needed. I didn't go down the path of understanding what these boys need to do. It does look like they have to do fueling. And of course, fueling, yes, tires. They have 10. They don't need to do tire change, so it's really just a fuel stop that is needed. As we head off, green light all the way through. Let's just see if they can get through the first corner. From Wijk looks all clear and dandy. Top of the helicam. Let's go all the way back as they head into Maggots and Beckers. Now this is where it gets very, very dangerous. You have to have the confidence of your driver. Gary van der Haar is still in there. We did see a Ferrari lose it on the tail end. Other than that, they're still coming through. Aston Martin going off the track, coming back on the track. Didn't create any havoc. Now that 10-1 looks to me like Dave Young. All the way through, you can see straight on fighting the pack. He needs to get through a lot of battles now. Silverstone is one of those difficult tracks. You need to jump on it immediately. Inside line for straight on. Shades a bit away, not going for the move. Now this is what they would call the Formula One final corner, heading into the start-finish line, but for the GT3 races this is not the case. Still a good exit there by Stradom. Got two side-by-side, nearly a three side-by-side going into this very, very dangerous corner, and that those that hold the momentum will gain the opportunity. I'm going to go back to the front of the pack again, so the VXR Vipers still leading. Of course, Leroux has got Nel Bullion behind him, followed by Greening. Bullion is of quite a good pace. He had endless battles with Van Wijk last week. I think that battle continued for probably 90% of the race at Zandvoort. And it seems like we are going to head into that direction again this week. Now, of course, that depends completely if things can manage the same way. Far back, Greening Finley there. He's hunting down Greening. He's got Robson behind him, so a sandwich in between two LNR boys. Also a VXR team here. Dylan Hall, on the other hand, he is hunting down Jason Luck with Dave Young behind him. Dave Young probably dropped a few positions, one in total, so not that much. Luck and Hall gained two in perspective. Holzhausen, on the other hand, and Paul Venter are the boys that have gained quite a bit of places, so these boys are up by 5-6. Paul Venter certainly going through the back of the pack. Sean Stradom, on the other hand, who started way at the back, he has gained 10 positions now. And of course, Raymond Mooney, who I know is a speed demon. I think everyone on stream would know him as well. Speed demon Deluxe. He's got Vincent Null ahead of him. Also a very fast-paced individual. Young up-and-coming talent here. Looking for places to overtake him. He's got Gary van der Haar, but now he also has Raymond Mooney looking on the inside. Very cleanly done into the corner, opportunistic corner. It's good for a GT track corner standpoint of view to make the moves count where they are, and that will just keep it quite interesting and tidy. So again, pit window has opened up for the races. Front of the lead has not changed that much significantly. Still have Van Wijk doing a phenomenal job at the start of the race. I bet you he's loving the idea that he has an open track ahead of him. Now, of course, my favorite section of the track, first corner into Maggots and Beckett's. Of course, Corpse is what I love. Maggots and Beckett's, I love it just as much. Such a tight angle in with phenomenal speed that they enter into it. Then, of course, going all the way through to Hanger Straight, into Stowe, then Vale, and then, of course, Club. A corner I despise. I won't say despise, but it's just one of those tricky ones that you need to get completely on top of it, is into Vale, and then the exit or entry into Club, which is where Van Wyk is going at this moment. And that needs a smooth transition. And then, of course, you've got to go into Abbey, which is the next corner. Just such a fast-paced corner. Slight lift off the throttle, full throttle in, and then you hold on for dear life, knowing that there is enough grip on the car to manage it. And then this farm is what I would say my devil's advocate. I just cannot do farm. Once you can do farm in all the other corners, Silverstone to me is still such a phenomenal track. I might have a few individuals on the stream that might say otherwise, but I absolutely love that track. So going back, and here by around about 10th spot, because Paul Venter, Hall and Stradom has gained quite a lot of momentum, made their moves where they have count. Hannes van der Sand had a phenomenal race last week with that Aston Martin. He looked mighty fine and dangerous, almost got to the podium, made a slight error and missed out his podium opportunity. He now has a Ferrari on his rear end with a driver be a Venter. Or some would say Paul to the wall. And Dylan Hall and Stradom battling it out there in the back as they go into Maggots. I would advise anyone to go side by side or a two-car entry into that corner. You need to choose your line properly. It does look like Paul has a phenomenal drive out of Maggots and Beckett's. Can he do something into Stowe? Doesn't pop it on the inside though, but he is very, very close. Probably going to look for an opportunistic move. Coming into Vale. Dives into Vale instantaneously. That was perpendicularly predicted. I reckon the closer you are going into Stowe and then into Vale will give you that opportunity. Now he needs to break free because he's got two other drivers not far from him wanting to do the same thing. Dylan Hall, on the other hand, has fighting it fiercely hard, covering all corners and aspects, making it hard for Stradom to get past him, sending in on the outside, covering the inside line. Stradom doing what he can, potential undercut there, not enough speed and momentum, but it does look like he's got the pace. Is he going to stuck it into the inside? Oh, that seemed like that was contact, instantly contact. I would say it wasn't meant for it, but I think he just came too close to the rear end there of Dylan Hall. I'm going to see if I can go back 30 seconds there just to give everyone that visual reference. Just look how close does he get to the back end of Hall, and then as he moved, oh, I reckon that was a bit of a lag spike as opposed to contact. It just doesn't seem like there was any movement by the car the minute Stradom moved away from it. Now again, this is only my perspective, but based on where Dylan Hall threw the two directly into the wall, I reckon that was just one of those lag spikes causing that little mishap. Curious to see how that will evolve. That is certainly all from LTR. That's a race ruin, because he's going to have a lot of damage to repair. Van der Sant, on the other hand, is being challenged all over the show. He's just been passed by Raymond Mooney. Now he's got Nal all over him too, so that's one more position. Van der Sant dropping down the grid order very, very quickly. Bauer not far from him either, so he's gradually fallen 4 positions from where he has started. Will this be another one? Oh, Bauer takes it on the outside, goes in very, very deep there. Brings it back, slight contact between the two. Of course, I would probably call that a cheeky move, but a cheeky one done. Oh, 50 minutes and so much action yet. Unbelievable. I love it when we do kind of like a reverse grid. So for everyone that popped into the stream, welcome back again. This is Tuesday night TVT, final race of the season. Just so that everyone is aware, Team VXR, is it VXR? Oh, I need to go look. They might just, VXR, yes, the VXR Vipers are leading the championship. And of course, Hannes van Wyk and Leroux is up there for sure. Again, Hannes is no slouch at all. He has got enough pace with him to make it through. Ooh, slight accident there by Robson. Let's just see what happens. Does he get it all wrong and Maggots and Beckett's? Yes, he does. Too deep, goes in too wide, slides the car, tries to slow it down, but just didn't get that whole momentum right. That's what happens when you just enter Maggots with being excessively hopeful that you will be able to get it out. This is a battle between two Aston Martins, Leroux and Bullion. These boys are doing, let's just see, lap time wise, Best is definitely below the 2-minute marker. Last lap, on the other hand, was again below the 2-minute marker, so they are matching each other pace by pace. Therefore, it's going to be difficult for Nel Bullion to make any leeway or passing maneuvers. As wide as this track is, I mean, this is a very wide track, and just catching a guy is easier than passing an individual, because the corners is so fast paced. It's one of the trickiest tracks to do anything at all, and if you can, of course, I'm going to have a look here at the back. Mooney, on the other hand, I reckon he was going to aim for a definite pole winning championship. Well, he wants to win this, and he's going to win it all the way from the back. He's just made a move there on, I reckon that was Paul Venter, Stratum? No, Stratum. So Raymond Mooney has passed Sean Stratum. Taking that position from him. Now he's probably going to see if he can capitalize back and get into the rear end of Paul Venter. It does look like that Porsche doesn't have that much space going into Maggots and Beckett's, but has an excessive amount of speed going out of it. Phenomenal. Just look at how he extended the lead from Stratum and then gained significant amount of time on Paul Venter getting out of Maggots and Beckett's. There has to be a trick that this man has. I would have normally thought fast in, fast out, but I reckon he was very slow into Maggots and then just came out furious. Question now stands, where is he going to set it up, line it and make the move? That is the big question at the moment. Nel Bullion in front there in third place. Getting closer to Leroux though, as they're heading down the straight. Doesn't go for the dive though. At the point of starting a new lap towards Corps, not getting that momentum fully done. course, Dave Young is being hunted at this stage by this three-way battle here between, I would probably say, the speed demons across all the sim racing fanatics. Now, Mooney is the quickest one that I know of. Just waiting for him to do what is needed. Hannes van der Sant again. He has now gotten to his groove a bit more comfortable, gained positions back on the hunt for luck. So I reckon that's going to be a good battle to watch soon. Going back all the way to 19th spot. We have side-by-side action there. Aston Martin and Mercedes. Neither wants to yield. Mercedes takes the corner. Again, not too certain what has happened there. That just looks like a slight rear end tag, but simultaneously does not. So let's just see how it, no. Big snap from Romer. No contact at all. Galen probably wondering what has happened, but that just doesn't look like any contact was made. Big battle. So, Mooney has done it. Mooney is ahead. Paul Fender, no, still there. So Paul Fender still ahead. Mooney fallen back a bit. This is what I've seen. According to my Delta, it looked like he made the move on Paul Fender. That was not the case. Nell is in there, Stradum's in there. Paul Fender gaining on Dave Young. Of course, these are all fellow teammates though, so they might just give each other headway. Mooney, on the other hand, he is the outsider, driving for Sim Racing Masterclass. The only one on Sim Racing Masterclass in this event. Of course, good to see the variety of teams here. Stradum looks like he got a great exit there out of Corps. But he is certainly not Corps. He's not going to challenge Mooney into that fast pacing left right. Again, 20 minutes nearly gone of the race. Lots of individuals have not gone into the pit stops at all. The requirements this evening is a mandatory fuel stop, because I would believe that some of these cars would be heavily loaded with fuel, and all you need to do entering in the pits is put like 2 or 3 drips or traps in your tank and get it out as quickly as you want to. But then being told by the individuals managing the series that there is a fixed time period set for fueling, so it's irrelevant whether you put 15 liters or 20 liters or go half on your tank. You're gonna have to spend the same amount of time in the pit stops as everyone else. So fundamentally your crucial point then becomes your entry, exit and stoppage time, or the time that it takes you to switch the car off, get it jacked up, get it filled up and getting out. Those crucial seconds will give you a good indication whether you have gained a position or time or have lost either of those. Still big battles between these individuals as they make their way towards the front of the pack. And of course, let's just go have a look at where the leaders are. Van Wyk has got a decent 3-second gap between himself and team driver Leroux, who has done a wonderful job thus far, keeping Nel Bullion in his rear view mirror the whole time. Now this is for pride and victory. and of course taking that checkered flag with your best final race. I reckon what a closure. Silverstone as a selection, no rain, bit cloudy, optimum tire temperature. Ooh, drive-through penalties being dished out by Neville. Has Neville done? He's currently in 20th position. Certainly not having the best races in general. A drive-through would be self-inflicted due to track limits. Now, has he definitely has gone out of the track limits more than what the required limitations is, and have thus going to fall further back down all the way through. Having said that, I don't see Mr. Hall though. I recall he did have a bit of a battle at the beginning, and then had that slight hiccup, which I'm still to believe that it was probably contact, but not contact intended, but then could have been lag as well. So Holtzhausen under a bit of pressure by Kalen Mawa, who also started at the back of the grid. Now Mawa has made up 3 positions from the starting grid, so, and Aston Martin is definitely getting back into the groove though. Holtzhausen doesn't look like he's going to let that position get away from him. I do love the new LNR livery though. It does look nice though. Not designed by me. But it looks mighty fine in general. Hannes from the Sun battling it out. Mare here from LTR Chic. Haven't shown any, or very few LTR Chics this evening. He's hunting down Duplessis ahead of him. Duplessis is driving for Mighty Carbon Team. Oh, big accident there by Nell and Fenter. Something has to have happened. I need to go back and see. Ooh, that is not good. Let's see if we can get more. It might be very hard for me to go further back. Let's just figure out if I can. Hope I can. So, Paul Fenter goes into the corner. Where is now? Looks perfectly okay at this point. Of course, we are currently looking at car 42. That is Paul Fenter giving away for Stradom, opening up the door there for Mooney. Oh, they made contact, and then of course Null was taken out by a following driver. This is because 2 cars tried, and I would say tried, probably very hard to go side by side through club. Now that is doable, but also quite dangerous. That's gonna put them back on their back feet and needs to fight back, and it all depends on how much damage they have in general. So that puts Stradom now in 6, Mooney in 7. Of course, Mooney and Stradom had slight contact with one another. Bauer, on the other hand, gained more positions. Dave Young sitting now behind Bauer. I don't know who Null made contact with, but I would reckon that Null has got some damage on him as well. Jason Luck, on the other hand, he is now in 12. So it could have been that Jason Luck made contact with Null. Actually, let's just see if I can pick that up. So 7 and 88, 42 and 8 made contact, and then car 7 and 888 made contact. That was Mare. Mare and Duplessis, and then car 32 and 1. interesting though. Quite interesting. Okay, to the race we are. 35 minutes still there. Top, I would probably say the top 4 individuals, including Friendly, not going to take this man out at all. She also started up there. They have been untouched at this moment. Now, sadly, they are being heavily hunted down by Stradom and Mooney, and then of course Bauer. I would have said Paul Venter and Nell, but they have fallen back since there was a bit of a fender bender in mid-race conditions. From a time perspective, let's see where we sit. So Friendly is doing low minute 2 minutes flats on his last lap. Raymond Mooney, on the other hand, and Stradom are digging into the low 59s. Mooney, the fastest guy on track, with a 58.8. So plenty of space between those two individuals as they continue to move forward on the grid. I'm trying to keep an eye out for them going forth. Mudon, on the other hand, from LTR, he and Robson fighting it out here for 18th position. Oh, big slide there by Mudon. That's gonna bring Robson closer, but then Robson makes a slight error braking into the corner. Bit of an outbreak in general. Naval, stop go 30 seconds. That is not a good thing at all. I can't see him. I'm not 100% certain if there's something going on with the service this evening, but in general terms, it does look like it's a bit, I won't say glitchy, it's just, there's been a few contacts between cars that just wasn't supposed to be. Now Bullion looking on the inside as they head into Maggots, pulls back a little bit, shies away from making it a side-by-side car entry. That would have been very dangerous for them. Sometimes you have to, excuse me, take a bit of risk there in order to gain positions and momentum. But saying that, you also need to be as clean as you can be. Stradom has passed Findlay, so has Mooney. So they've done that very quickly. I thought it would take at least like a lap or two for them to do so, but they've made mincemeat out of Findlay within a couple of corners. Now they're going to hunt out Greening, which is a good 5 seconds adrift. I'm going to go with that will take a few minutes or so. Well, a second a lap, going by five laps, give or take. They'll be on the rear end of the now Greening in the Ferrari, who is not that far off the guys ahead of him. You just instantly saw that. They're practically about the length of that last time. Oh, sorry, words have slipped me now. I just couldn't find what I wanted to say. Yeah, so let's stop. Still to go. 30 minutes of racing to go. Everyone on stream, welcome and hi. This is the final race of TVT Tuesday night championship, and then of course what generally would happen is a good 2 to 3 weeks relaxation period followed by a new championship. What the management team will come up next time is to be determined. LaRue and Napoleon going side by side there. Ooh, Nell again looking on the inside, but then stayed away from it. Now, whether that is a bit of lack of confidence or just wants to make sure that he is side by side to the car ahead of him in order to make a move. Doesn't really want to make any unnecessary or contactable passing maneuvers. Every time he does this, he falls back a few tenths, and then he needs to push harder to make it up again, knowing that guys like Stradom in 394 is now 3 seconds away from greening, and so is Mooney not far from that. Finley on the other hand is also gaining ever so slightly, hasn't really lost the whole momentum there. Bauer sitting comfortably in its own territory with Hannes van der Sand in 9th, and then of course Jason Luck in 10th. So one individual in the pits. Was that Van Wyk? No, that was Leroux. Leroux has decided to go in the pits. That will free up Nel Bullion though. Question now stands, will the undercut work for Leroux, or will this free up Nel Bullion to get a bit of gap, create an extended, so that when he enters the pits, he can potentially do an overcut. Now, I'm not 100% sure whether an overcut or an undercut is more advantageous at Silverstone. Something tells me it's an undercut, just based on the length of the track, because it will take you that much longer to warm up your tires. Now of course there is no requirements for tire changes, but it all depends on how long the pit stops is. Now let's just go have a look how long it actually is. That was Leroux going in the pits, right? So 32 seconds. That is quite interesting. So time in the pit is approximately about the same time that you would do a tire change. So would some individuals change tires or just continue going forth? That's actually to be determined. I mean, you don't necessarily have to change tires, but it's probably the best thing to change tires, on a fresh set of tackies, and then go out. Having said that, I mean, Duplessis went in the pits and he did a pit stop time of 28 seconds. So I do wonder how long the pit stop time window is, because I just do not see that on the configuration. Everyone slowly getting into the momentum. Overall, Nel Bullion is now the leader. Everyone ahead of him has gone into the pits. Greening still not there, but Greening being chased down by Stradom and of course Mooney. So still top 13 boys haven't pitted. It will be top 10 soon, as 2 of them have dived in. Van Wyk, of course, the champion leader or the race leader at this stage. So everything's gonna shuffle around quite a bit. I'm gonna go and move back to Dave Young there, because he is hunting. Well, he's on the rear end of Bauer. They are within close proximity to one another. How that evolves and works out is to be defined. Nel Bullion last lap 59.3, so he is definitely picking up the pace. He used to run in the 2-minute slot when he was behind that driver. Greening losing position. Stradom and Mooney has passed Greening. again, quick succession. Didn't take a lot of effort, and they're gone. Now they are 2 seconds adrift from Bullion. Maybe 3 seconds. 3 seconds is fair. And now that's, oh, my delta is just going all over the place. Stradom went into the pits. That released Mooney. Again, I need to focus this. Everything's happening so quickly. 25 minutes of racing left. Hannes van der Sand has got a stop-go 30-second penalty. That is probably for speeding in the pit lane from an entry stand point of view. Of course, you've got to hit that marker. As a wise man once said, practice your pit entry and pit exits, because if something does go wrong, and normally what can go wrong is someone touching the board marker or your marker, which is generally a freestanding marker that can be moved by cars entering into the pits. Now, of course, that is done accidentally, but you gotta practice it, otherwise it will throw you off your game completely, because you will miss your mark point. And once you miss your mark point, it's all tickets for you, because you've now entered the pits too quick, and then you sit in with a stop go 30-second penalty. That just ruins your race. Currently looking at Van Wyk, he was the race leader. He's being sandwiched by a few individuals, making moves as he goes fast. I don't know who he passed there, but he is moving forward. He has still got a decent amount of gap between himself and Stradom. When I say decent, it's just a car length, because we have LaRue also in the mix. So the two VXR boys are ahead of the pack. They're being hunted down by Sean Stradom. Van Wyk's got a bit of traffic ahead of him, because that is Mouton from LTR. This is not working to their advantage at all. Ooh, as he goes deep, causes no real concern there. Very, very cautiously into the apex. Did not want to get into that battle, but having said that, both LaRue and Mouton, LaRue, Van Wyk and Stradom, along with Greening, stuck battling it out in midfield back conditions. They have lost time for sure, and that is definitely not what they would have wanted. Of course, there is pride and joy here. So far so good. Team relegations 1 and 2. Well, Bullion has not quit at all, nor has Mooney, nor has Findlay. So my curiosity is more towards, where does Nel Bullion filter out when he does decide to go into the pit? Where does Mooney filter back in if he goes into the pit? The battles there is, of course, with Van Wyk, LaRue and Stradom. I don't think Greening will be featured anywhere near that. Paul Venter has done his pit stops as well. Findlay, not so much. So I am very curious to see when these two top boys will jump into the pits. This is doing another lap, so is Mooney. Van Wyk, on the other hand, no traffic ahead of him this time. But now we've got LaRue, who is fending off Stradom as best he can. If these two boys are running from a team championship point, they have it in the bag. I think the boys for Stradom is the world riders, which I would assume is Stradom and Paul Venter. Paul Venter has fallen all the way back there since he made contact with Mooney not so long ago. Of course, that to me looked more like racing incident, two cars going side by side. There's not a lot of space. One could have given the other one. Going straight on, very close to LaRue there. He's gonna stuck it in there into Corbs, opening it up. No, decides to lean back. Whether he gets enough momentum into the next corner, Maggots and Beckett, that is going to be tight because it's a short line. I think he's just setting it up for the long straight, going deep into that corner, getting the exit right. That's what it looks like. That's a good exit there. Does that Ferrari have enough pace to put it into Corbs? Not much, huh? Not much. Valiant effort though. Again, easy to catch a guy, very hard to make the move. Gonna stick it on the outside. Nice try though. Cut back. No. Went in too deep. LaRue ready to fight and defend another corner off. As he does so, Van Wyk just gets all the gap he needs for 20 minutes. That is what he needs. Van Wyk gets opening chances. LaRue bending off straight on. Mooney not in the pits. Nel Bullion on the other hand in the pits. These guys coming through. Heading into, of course, the Wellington Straight, then Brooklands and at Luffield. Bullion still in the pit. Straight on. Just cannot get past LaRue. I reckon LaRue is having the best drive of the evening. He managed to fend off Nel Bullion the whole time. Nel Bullion out of the pits. He does exit, so an overcut has worked for Bullion in his favor. But I think the traffic that, oh my word, did he jump two boys? Is that Van Wyk? Nel Bullion managed to jump not just LaRue, but also Van Wyk. Now that's a combination of an overcut followed by two drivers that had traffic ahead of them when they pitted. Lost 2 places to Nel Bullion, who smashed phenomenal laps in when he had the opening to do so. So he's probably going to have some cold tires. If he decided to change tires, that will be cold. If he chose not to change tires and Van Wyk did, then Van Wyk will be on fresher rubber than Bullion, which will give Van Wyk the edge. Now I reckon based on that speed, corner entry and exit, Bullion certainly must have changed tires for the last 17 minutes of the race. I just think it would have been the wisest choice to do so. Back to the route. There's 2 battles going on here. Of course, we still got to keep an eye to Mooney. Mooney did not, but Mooney stuck out for as long as he could. And I guess he is going to jump both these 2 boys for sure and fit in between the 2 running Aston Martins. If he can pull it off is what I say. If he can pull it off, because straight on, I can guarantee you is not doing, although even though that last lap was a 58.9, which is phenomenally quick, and LaRue did a 59 flat too, so these boys are no slouches. But straight up just cannot find a spot to pass LaRue, and Bullion is ahead of Van Wyk. The man that sat on the rear end of LaRue is potentially leading the race. Potentially. Of course, I'm saying that because Marais, who is in second, needs to quit. Mooney, who is in first, also needs to quit. I still think Mooney is going to have enough space to probably gap at least one of the groups. If he manages to gap both of them, staying out for longer, then that is just going to be a phenomenal drive from last to first. Absolutely, Mooney in the pits, straight on, as close as he can be to LaRue. Can he come back? Not at all. That Aston has got enough legs. Now Bullion also under severe pressure. Goes defensive. Forces Van Wyk to go on the outside. This is where grip matters more than anything else. Plenty of battles on the mix. Stridom versus LaRue. Van Wyk versus Bullion. Where does Mooney filter out? Mooney jumps out of the pits. Oh, this is going to be close. I can hear the Aston Martin. Mooney jumps both backs in and out. What a spectacular pit stop by that man. How did he manage it? That is an individual that was behind Sean Stradom prior to Sean doing a pit stop. Jumped 2 backs, 3 Aston Martins, 4 guys to be now the leader of the race. That was just absolutely fantastic. But I'm going to sit here where the action is. This is a 4-way battle. Bullion going defensive again. Forces the other Aston Martin to go wide. I reckon Bullion did not change his tires. I strongly believe that that man has got the same tackies that he went out with, because he is struggling for grip. Both Hannes, LaRue and Stradom must have fresh wheels on their side. Ooh, as Stradom goes on the outside of LaRue, puts it in. As LaRue come back at him, yes he does. He says, I am not going to make you give that position that quick. They go all the way through, side by side, into Wellington. LaRue inside line, Stradom outside. Oh, good driving by these drivers. Does manage to get it though. Phenomenal drive in general. Front pack is just giving it all this evening. I love to go backwards and look at where everyone else is battling, but this is where the race is. Let's just for interest sake go to the chat and see what's going on. So Jude Neville had a drive through a DT, SEG, then DC. Thanks for the great season and stream. Neville, absolutely sad. So you had such bad luck this evening. It just didn't look well at all. Front to the back, this is where the battles are. 4-way battle. We've got Van Wyk, LaRue, Bullion, Stradom in the mix. That's Van Wyk trying to go on the outskirts of Nel Bullion, who I believe did not change tires, doesn't have the grip, opens the door up for Stradom. This is going to be a 3-way battle into I'm sorry, I gotta hold my breath. It's like a deja vu scenario for anyone that has ever watched Formula One. And when I say deja vu, I'm going Ferrari, Aston, Ferrari, Red Bull, and of course Mercedes on a F1 track. This is what it looks like. Who has got the bigger kahunas to make the move count? Who can give me the inside info whether Bullion has got a new set of tires? I honestly don't think he does. I really don't. Cars behind him just looks like they've got more phenomenal grip. And the battle is so intense. Helicam wise, just look at that. Side by side as Stradom goes into the corner. has to be cautiously aware because he does have LaRue on his rear end. Cannot go too deep because you're going to open the door up for the driver behind you. Then all of a sudden you become from an attacking point of view to a defender. Great exit there by Stradom. Is he going to dare going side by side into Magnus and Beckett's? Oh, he did want to. Definitely wanted to. Like he felt like it was the right thing to do. Oh, exciting. Absolutely exciting. Mooney probably has this in the bag as these boys fight it out for, I would say, the final 2 podium spots. Is it going to be Nel Bullion or is it Hannes van Beek or Sean Stradom? And again, I'm not going to take it away. LaRue is in the mix. All he needs is these 2 boys that are ahead of him to get entangled with one another. And it's an open opportunity to say, yes, thank you, that podium is mine. Oh, Stradom going very deep into that corner. Ah, makes the move, cuts it out. That was quite daring. Of course, Van Beek slowed his car down just to anticipate not connecting with Bullion. Stradom, on the other hand, saw it as an opportunistic move to go deep into that corner, and they're diving into the following corner, grabbing that position. Clever drive by both drivers, and much respect for Van Beek to decide not to challenge for that position. Of course, that opens up the door for Stradom. Stradom will hunt it through. Easy move there with him and Bullion. That puts Van Beek all over the show there with the Aston Martin. I reckon that was an easy let go kind of thing. Points up for grabs. Inner team discussions. I don't think it's going to be enough as Van Beek goes side by side with Bullion. I reckon if there's enough grip, he should be able to do it. Oh, pulls a beautiful move on the outskirts. He's going to have the best entry line into the following corners. Nel Bullion has nothing that he can use to defend it though. 2 positions down drop. Now he's going to do his utmost best to keep LaRue behind him. Brilliant battles though, absolutely phenomenal. I honestly believe, and again, I'd love to hear the final output when these boys go out and have a chat, whether Bullion changed these tires or not. I probably have my money in it that he did not. He's got a used set of tires on him. Everyone around him, from Stradom, Van Beek and LaRue, got some fresh tires on for grips and ultimate pace. Therefore, they can be more superior and aggressive heading into the corners, as well as getting a better corner exit. Hard fight for Bullion. You can see him sliding now more. He has overworked those tires, making it very easy for the guys to do what they need to do. Yeah, goes in deep, easy move by LaRue, takes the position into Magnus and Beckett's. Good gamble though, that was a phenomenal gamble. It just didn't play out the way he would have wanted to. But still, brilliant racing by the 5 guys. It's not over yet. Ooh, slight mistake there by LaRue. Doesn't lose enough momentum. So, now it gives me the opportunity to go back to the pack a bit. Here we go, Holzhausen. He's fighting it out there with Heineken right behind him. One of the LTR boys. And of course we have Mutonia hunting down, looks like Van der Sant ahead of him for Pace Motorsport. So Hannes Van der Sant, who had a phenomenal drive last week, not so good this week. Still good battles though. Currently in 19th position. We've lost a few individuals this race. And I reckon we started off with just under 30. We only have 23 of them on track. So I believe not a lot of guys had the best of races this evening. But in the final 5 minutes of what I would probably say, to wrap it up, I mean, this potentially gives me the best opportunity to wrap up the championship that we just had and closing off with. So in all fairness, I would say rough start to middle section of the season. I think, in all fairness, race 1, 2, and 3, even though there was good battles in general, I still think it could have been a lot cleaner, with a lot more respect between all drivers on the track. However, I can honestly conclude that there has been vast amounts of improvement in general, as you've seen this evening. I mean, lots of potential side-by-side racing by all individuals. Just looking at Muton going on the inside there. Oh, Hannes not going to make it easy for Muton. Gets the upper hand as well as the better racing line for the following corner. Takes back that position. That makes Muton go back out and fight for it again. And 4 minutes of racing to go, so it's not over until it's actually over. The front end of the guys have settled now quite nicely. Nel Bullion had the chance, came out defeated, currently in 5th position. Raymond Mooney, on the other hand, started in last position, managed to gain 26 spots from his starting grid. Have to say that is an absolute phenomenal drive by this man to go from last to first in less than about, I'd say 50 minutes. Let's go 50 minutes because I didn't have my stop timer on me. But 50 minutes of hard racing, all the way at the back of the grid to all the way to the front. And if he continues the way he does, that checkered flag is certainly his. Now, Stradom, on the other hand, had the same kind of approach, got stuck in, I would say, a very decent battle between himself, Van Wyk and Leroux, who I have spoken about and mentioned a lot this evening, along with Bullion. They were probably my top 6 hitters this evening. Again, all the action was there. I'm not saying there was no other action everywhere else, but I just couldn't get the focus elsewhere. So that was really, really entertaining to watch. Final few minutes left though. I reckon we'll probably finish up this lap and then there will be one more final lap to come. Just going back to the guys in 9th and 10th. Now of course this is Dave Young and Bauer. I do believe this is probably the potential best finish for Dave Young, if memory serves me right. So he is trying to gain another position with a Phil, trying to pass a Ferrari ahead of him. Kalen Mawa, Jason Luck on the other hand, battling it out as well. So as we come down to the closing minutes of the race, battles everywhere. Does Mawa have enough space through Camel Straight? Takes the inside line though. Can he pull it off? Oh, slight touch by the cars. And that just could be one of those scenarios where they both wanted to go in the corner, but one went too wide or too short. Bit of an argy-bargy. Again, very, very loud. But a position gained by Mawa, who, of course, have to say, gained 9 places. Now ahead of him gained 13 spots. And of course, Bauer 16. Final finish for the race. I'm gonna go into interior mode to see if I can get a nice view here by Raymond as we close off the season. Just to give you that more insight. Beautiful sound. Phenomenal race. What a closure. I would say big ups and big thanks to all the drivers out there that stood it through this season. Give it a couple of weeks and we will definitely smash it out with a new one. Me back on comms, probably another comms guy. But as we do this final turn for Raymond Mooney, bringing it in for Simracing Masterclass, taking the checkered flag. Not far behind him is Sean Stradom, who has had many battles with him. Then of course LaRue leading from the start. Ooh, what has happened to Van Wyk? No, Bullion gained the position. Van Wyk probably made a mistake. Oh my goodness, absolutely not needed. Of course we have Greening in 6th, Finley in 7th, Bauer coming down in 8th, Dave in 9th. And closing it off for the top 10, we have Paul Venter here in the final mids. That's where we stand in the mix. Let's see if I can do that. As the final car comes over the track. To everyone out there, what am I doing? I feel like a rookie now. Let's just try that again. Back into the final mix. Ah, that's what I wanted to do. That didn't work quite well. Me just trying to be a bit different this time than what I normally am. To everyone on the stream, thank you for your love and support. To all the boys that raced this evening, thank you for making it entertaining. I cannot wait to see everyone next season. To everyone out there, do have a good evening. Have a great night. Catch you all on the flip side. Thank you all for your support. Good night. God bless. And then, of course, goodbye.